More analysis on the fresh arbitrary export control measures initiated by the U.S. Commerce Department. We're joined by Zhiqin, a senior research fellow at the Chongyang Institute of Financial Studies of the Renmin University of China. Good to see you again, Mr. Liu. So U.S. Commerce's Bureau of Industry and Security said that 7 Chinese companies were added to the entity list for activities contrary to U.S. national security and foreign policy interests. Is there any basis for such logic?
I don't think so. As we know that the United States has already put 100 Chinese companies in the entity list, but still they will have more Chinese companies to have such honor to be listed in the entity list in the American document. But as we know that all these actions taken by the United States has no any good ground or any good reason, even because the only purpose for this action, they are only trying to smearing and stigmatizing the Chinese companies from its business. Because all these companies have been already doing business with the United States that helped many U.S. companies that to create their jobs and expand their business opportunities in China. So all these benefits that have been ignored by the U.S. government. So now they're trying to have a politicizing of these business actions, and they try to blame these Chinese companies with some excuses, so-called security problem or foreign policy control or export control policies. So all this, as we know that they have no any logic, they have no any rules of international standards. So we have to criticize all these U.S. actions and do our job best to deal with all these conflicts and competition from the United States.
And China's foreign ministry says the unilateral moves hurt international trade order and rules and disrupt global supply chains. What are your thoughts on this? Why does the U.S. keep ignoring these negative impacts?
This question is very important also. It's a key element to all the issues that, or the problems between the United States and China. As we know, the former President Trump has announced the so-called American First. Nowadays, from the government of Biden, I think they changed this policy to America only. What the meaning, America only? Because they want to America, the only country that could be developed with their own standard. They don't care the standard of this development in European countries, in the alliance. Of course, China is also included. So this is why that they try to be so extremist against China, against any emerging market who can have a better condition to develop their own economy. So this is the key point for the United States. I think they should have more suffer from such a doom action that they have taken, because all these unilateral actions will be not only harm China's companies, but also harm itself, especially harm the American industry and its own economic system.
Indeed, the two economies are deeply intertwined. Are China and the U.S. facing decoupling of supply chains, at least in some sectors? Do we have to face the reality?
That's true, because the action is trying to destroy or disrupt the global chain. But as we know, the global chain is there, that all the members are included in this global chain, and all the global market already benefits from the global chain, global supply, have global cooperation. But nowadays, the United States want to stop or want to switch to its own needs, to its own standard. This will have a disaster of the whole economic development in the world. So we have to see that the 2 points, that intention and reality. Some few politicians in the United States, they really want to decouple from China. But the reality, I have to sorry to say, it's not possible to decouple from all the factors, because all these products and all technologies, they have not only the benefits the Chinese companies, the other companies in the world, but also benefit the American itself. So we should tell the American side, the politicians, that to be aware that the closely connections and the collaborations are the key element and the lifeline, not only for Chinese economy, but also for the American side. I think that in a not too long time, the inflation will come back to teach them how to deal with all these disputes with the global market. So we hope that the global cooperation will have more chances and opportunities to have deepening and development for a better economic recovery.
Well, thank you very much for your analysis. And that was Liu Zhiqin, a senior research fellow at the Chongyang Institute of Financial Studies of Renmin University of China for us.